Good evening, all. Welcome to the special public council meeting for Town of Harbour Grace for June the 15th, 2021, held virtually on Zoom app. We have 51 participants registered for tonight's meeting. Welcome to those in attendance and the audience. Please be advised that participants should not use the chat feature during the meeting. Just as noticed to councillors, if we have issues with the feed, we may have to ask you to mute your mics and raise your hands when you want to speak. Thank you very much. And moving ahead with the regular meeting of council, I need adoption of the regular minutes of council of May the 10th, 2021. Motion to adopt is presented. Moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Tifford. All in favor? Contrary? Motion is carried. Adoption of the minutes of the special meeting of council June the 1st, 2021. No errors or omissions, a motion to adopt as presented. Moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Tifford. All in favor? Contrary? Carried. Business arising from the minutes. Harvey Street Phase 5, folks. Town manager wrote again. The executive assistant to the former Minister of Transportation Works on June the 4th regarding the status of it. And as of today, we have no reply. Any questions on that? Town manager stayed on top of the issue and will continue. Harvey Street Phase 4 update. There are some things going to be happening. You'll see in the correspondence, and the budget is sent in now, so hopefully we'll see that finished, that project finished this season. So
can I just go back to 2-1?
Yes, you can.
Did the town manager contact everybody that was asked to be contacted for a meeting?
What I understand, the answer is yes, but I'll ask the town manager to speak up on that, Deputy, please. Mrs. Parsons?
Oh, okay, I got it. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, I did contact whom I was supposed to contact. I contacted Minister Hillier back April the 1st, and then Ms. Pam Parsons also emailed, and I was told, given Mr. Paul Baldwin's name on June 4th, and I followed up with him as well. Still no response from anyone to date.
Wow. So are we going to follow up again, like, and keep trying to push for the meeting, for something to happen for the Phase 5 of Harvey Street?
Yes, I can follow up again tomorrow, Deputy. I can do that. Write another letter.
Thank you.
Welcome.
The co-update, the Phase 4 Harvey Street, we have some correspondence there, but I guess we're waiting again, and the budget is in, and let the department see where it's going to go, and hopefully we'll get that completed this year. The co-update, I understand the Deputy Mayor will have an update on that.
Yeah, I can, sure.
The Bradbury rezoning is under 3-1, so we'll go with that. The 1317 Queens Road update, from what I understand again, and Mrs. Parsons can intervene on this. We've done the temporary work, but the temporary work is not good enough for it. So we need the water and sewer replaced. We've asked the Department of Government and Mrs. Parsons, have we heard anything back from them?
Not to date on that, Mayor Combs.
And we'll follow up again.
Yes.
Paving, I think we asked the paving or Public Works to look at some paving opportunities in town of the gas tax money, and I understand that the Public Works Committee have met and are making some recommendations. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Yes, sir, you're right.
Thank you. The collision clinic, there was some questions about a check that was issued. There was an accident in town of Harbour Grace on a vehicle, and that check will do. Collision clinic was the town's share of doing the work on it, on the insurance. Digital speed radar signs. I understand from Mrs. Parsons that she's in regular contact, and we have got no reply, either A or nay, to proceed with this work, and so we're waiting to hear back from them. Am I correct, Mrs. Parsons?
Mayor Combs, yes, you are correct. I emailed June 4th again to see what was happening with that, and still awaiting a reply.
I thought we had an answer to that. that we could put up the radar signs.
Not to that particular one that you were speaking of.
What other one was?
We did contact them a while back for another speed sign that you guys had asked for and have speed lowered, and they recommended that no, they can't lower the speed limit in a particular zone that you spoke about.
Yeah, well, that was the same time that the radar lights were asked, or the speed indicators were asked if they can be placed there.
I don't have anything in front of me on it, but I can certainly look it back up. But on June 4th, we had a letter gone off to ask Minister Lovelace about this, and I'm still awaiting a reply.
I thought we had it for them.
I can go back through and see what's there, but I don't seeing it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Parsons. 3-1, Reginald Garland, the motion to approve the municipal plan amendments. Councillor Williams will have that. The motion to be made under 3-1. Correct, Councillor Williams?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Would you like that now, or?
Oh, we'll do it under your report, sir, if that's okay. Parcel ID 3233 34 35. Councillor Byrne, that's for finance. Do you have any recommendations on that under your report?
No, Mr. Mayor, we haven't had the opportunity to meet as finance in the last couple of weeks due to illnesses here in my house.
Oh, sorry to hear that, by the way. So we'll just defer that to the next meeting. Thank you, Councillor Byrne. I wasn't aware of that, so hope all is well. Request to purchase land by Mr. Reynolds. So I think Public Works, you've had an opportunity to look at that?
Yes, sir, we did.
Okay. Christopher Roberts, Harvey Street, Phase 4. It's a letter in, and that will be dealt with under the Phase 4 development of what's happening in correspondence. The Forestry 5-year plan, Zone 1. Information is there for councillors' perusal. CBN Joint Council's meeting in the minutes. Are there anybody with any questions of Councillor Williams on the minutes? You can ask during his report and update. Correspondence from Susan Pike in regard to Kelly's Lane. I think Public Works, you've looked at that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Clara Simmons' report is there. So that's been sent out by Mrs. Reese on a number of occasions. If we have somebody that's qualified or whatever, let's get involved. Shepherd's Lane, Mr. Penny is saying he had some damage to his car. Supposed to report to town office to go to the insurance, but I think his major concern is the road that's there. Am I correct?
You're right, sir.
And Public Works, would you have something to do a report on that, the road conditions?
Road conditions we will, sir, yes.
Thank you. Applications for building permits will come under housing and zoning. That's Clover Road 313 1, 2, 3, 4, and will be under your report, Councillor Williams.
Yeah, that's correct, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. 313 5, 114 Hard Path, the temporary shed.
Yeah, that one as well.
Okay, we have the Cow Pond correspondence, which is fairly detailed, and that will be all dealt with under the housing and zoning report. We have 315, MEA request to send a letter, cleanup letters to property owners. That would be under environment and sanitation. Am I correct? Environment and sanitation. Thank you. New business. We're on a summer schedule with the office hours during the summer schedule. Meetings will be held once a month. They are July the 19th, August the 23rd, September the 13th, which will give us time to have another meeting before the municipal election of the fall of 2021. And I expect committee members to move. We have some correspondence coming in with regard to our town auditor that we'll also have to deal with and bring things back to council. So is that okay with everybody? Thank you. motion to go through. Mrs. Parsons, do you have the motion there that I had to bring up under new business? Parsons, that motion under new business that we had to get tabled for tonight's meeting?
Okay, this one for the alternate returning officer, Mayor Coombs?
Exactly. Yeah, we had to appoint an alternate officer for the municipal election. Last time around it was Mrs. Pike, and both Mrs. Pike and Mrs. Parsons did the thing on it, the update on it. So I need a motion to appoint Mrs. Pike as the alternate election officer for Town of Harbour Grace.
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Byrne. All in favor? Contrary? Motion is carried. Capital and Public Works.
Yes, sir. I got a dozen things here this evening. Regards to Mrs. Rose, Bridget Bertatna got her survey on the property on Kitchens Hill, and it shows that there's a possible encroachment on her property. And it's the committee's suggestion that the survey be sent to Harrison Associates for further reclamation at this time. So would that need a motion?
Is it possible encroachment?
Yes.
Okay, so we send it to Harrison Associates to get them to look at it and
Yes.
see where we're at to come back to council. Motion by
Yes.
Councillor Sean that we send the survey along to Mr. Harris to check on any encroachments that the town may have with regard to Mrs. Rose. Moved by Councillor Ayers. Excuse me, Mrs. Parsons, sorry.
Mayor Coombs, that documentation was gone to Harrison Associates concerning Miss Rose,
Okay.
and and a representative from the company came back to say that he suggests that we get the earlier survey that was done by Jarrett and Associates to compare that to make sure, in fact, that there was an expropriation of land, because what they're saying is that the fence that was there when they started, and it was in the same place when they left. So he asked us to, maybe we should go that route, but again, it's council decision, what you wish to do.
Okay, so Councillor Vaders is saying that we should pass along to Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris has got back saying that, no, we should survey because the first survey is what the work was done on. Is that what I'm hearing, Mrs. Parsons?
Yes, to my knowledge, that is what they had told me.
The survey may have changed after the work was started.
It's questionable why it was a year later that it's now coming to light.
Councillor Vaders, can we ask for 2 surveys to be presented and brought down to Mr. Harris to see what's there, and ask Mr. Harris to look at it as our town engineer to see if there's any wrongdoing on behalf of the Town of Harbour Grace.
Yes, sir.
What survey did Harris Associates use? Did they use the one from Jared, or what survey did they use? They must have a survey in their files of what they used at the time. I'm just wondering why we had to seek out a survey from Jared. If they must have had a survey that they used.
I can't answer that, but let's get the 2 surveys and find out if we legally took land off Mrs. Rose, and if we did, we'd have to deal with it. And if we didn't, well, Mrs. Rose will have to deal with that part of it also. Right? Let's get it, the information that's being requested in the town office. Councillor Vaders, are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Motion that we ask Mrs. Rose to give up any surveys that she's had with regard to this and pass them on to Harris Associates for a formal in-writing letter back to council before the next meeting. Moved by Councillor Vaders, seconded by Councillor Tifford. All in favor? Contrary carried. Go ahead, sir.
Regards to the access along Cooper Corner Road north of Sugar Road property, Mr. Sugar Road will have to provide a survey of his property. Surveys of the area shows a right of way, but does not give the width. The committee recommends only pedestrian traffic be permitted and right of way until measurements are determined. Now, does that need a motion also?
Could you go on that one again, Councillor Vaders?
Yes. Access off Cooper Corner Road north of Sugar Road property. Mr. Sugar Road will have to provide a survey of this property. Surveys of this area shows a right of way, but does not give the width. The committee recommends only pedestrian traffic be permitted and right of way until the measurements are determined.
So what we're requesting from Mr. Shekaru is a
Survey of this property.
legal survey.
Yes, sir.
Registered legal survey.
Yes,
Motion that we contact Mr. Shekaru and that we have a registered legal survey provided for Mr. Shekaru on the property he owns within the Cooper Corner Road part. Moved. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Tifford, discussion? All in favor? Contrary? Motion is carried.
Regarding Mr. Mark Reynolds, the request to purchase right away on her pad, the committee requires further investigation before making a recommendation.
Move, seconded. Seconded, discussion. We cannot get rid of any town property that we own without going to public thing, and I think the best thing for the applicant is to bring in his survey so we can see what's there and what may or may not be owned. And again, it's a survey thing. And good motion, Mr. Councillor Sean. All in
Yes.
favor of the motion?
Can you read it back, sir?
Yes,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Motion is that we contact the potential buyer of the property and advise them that we need heat surveys to come in to see what we're at, because the town of Harbour Grace cannot dispose of any property that it may own without going to public tender. Is that correct, Councillor Vaders?
Yes, sir.
That's moved, seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Contrary? Motion is carried.
Kelly's Lane situation, we're after having a meeting, a committee meeting, and much discussion on Lane. His recommendation to have Mr. Reynolds meet with Public Works to work towards clarification and a resolution to the boundary issue.
And I get you to repeat that, please, Councillor?
Yeah, Kelly Lane boundary between Mr. Reynolds and Mrs. Boyd. We had discussion on, and his recommendations to have Mr. Reynolds meet with Public Works to work towards clarification and resolution to the boundary issue that they're having.
Okay, thank you. Have we, let's move. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Tifford, Councillor Vitters, have we received a formal survey from Mrs. Pike?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay, because it seems to be a problem with the survey.
Seems to be a problem. It seems to be a problem on both sides too. So I'd like to get them all and see what's going on and see if we can work and get it straight and clear off.
Okay, because it's gone on long enough and the town.
Yes, it's gone on long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in favor? Contrary? Motion carried.
I got a polling request in here, Beatrice Ash, corner of Queens Road and Herb Street. Need some recommended approval.
Does that conform with town policy regard to light in every second pole?
I would think so, sir, yeah.
It conforms with policy. A motion to provide Mrs. Ashford a request at Queens Road and Harvey Street conforms with the town policy. Moved by Councillor Vaders, seconded by Deputy Mayor. All in favor? Contrary? Motion is carried.
We met with the work superintendent and attendant and advised that most of our heavy equipment is in bad shape. Repairs are getting expensive, some need replacement. Also, all the pumps and lift stations needs major work. The Public Works Committee agrees with the supervisor's concerns and requests as follows. Replacement of pump at Riverhead Lift Station at the cost of $11,000. Repair of holding tanks and control units of the 2 ticket wells and the south side well at $50,000 each. Replacement of pump at Devonshire Road Lift Station at a cost of $15,000. And these repairs are eligible under the gas tax funding. There's approximately $500,000 at this time available to us until 2024, approximately $125,000 each year. The Public Works Committee recommends and I motion that $100,000 of gas tax funds to be used to partially take care of the serious issues we are facing with the majority of wells and lift stations are very important and essential infrastructure in our community. Our regular budget cannot take this on. The remainder of the funds for 2021 to be used to upgrade and pave Shepherd's Lane.
Okay, so we want the Riverhead lift station at $11,000. You want the $50,000 for the other one at $15,000 gas tax?
Yes, sir.
So a motion that we do the wells as requested for $76,000.
Yes, sir.
That got to be done. It's not in the budget. It's out of the gas tax money, which is something that has to be done or it's going to cost a fortune in repairs.
Causes a lot of problems on the road.
Yeah, moved by Councillor Vader, seconded by Councillor Fitzgerald. All in favor? Contrary? Carried. So the Public Works is also recommending that Shepherd's Lane be done at a cost of what?
I don't have their price on that yet. It is to be determined.
Okay,
I think it's around between 25 and 26,000. What I can remember there, Councillor Bader.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, sorry, Ms. Parsons, I'm trying to, yeah, go ahead.
Mayor Coombs, that Shepherd's Lane, we have a quote from the engineer of $25,320.
And that, folks, that's the lane that Mr. Penny rode in on earlier, am I correct?
Yes, they're having problems with up there, yes.
And I've been up there and every councillor's been up there. So motion by Councillor Vaders, the town engaged $25,320 for the lanes, Shepherd's Lane and in the town of Harbour Grace. Moved by Councillor Vaders, seconded by Councillor Tifford. All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary, carried.
The Public Works Committee recommends, and I motion that the town purchase a loader through financing.
How much is the loader, Councillor Vaders?
I have no price on it, sir. I'm assuming they're going to have to give bids or quotes on it, I would think.
So I guess the motion would be.
What kind of a loader would that be, in as such?
I'm assuming just a regular size loader like they do it out in the yard now. I'm thinking.
In order for us to entertain that, what we'd have to do is get Public Works to meet with Mr. Hearn and bring it back with all the specs, because it has to be specs on it and what we
That's
want.
fine.
And that would have to go to public tender and would have to be bid on and come back and see where we're gonna get that money to. But we just
Okay.
can't say, go get a loader. It has to be spec'd out and everything else to go with it. So if your committee could meet with Mrs. Parsons, Mr. Hearn, and get it moved forward, we'll get it moving forward.
It will be in the near future, yes, yeah.
Yeah, because we need equipment that was discussed previously.
Well,
Okay,
that's
so,
fine.
I'll ask a motion that Councillor Vaders would meet with the town manager and Mr. Hearn to come up with the specs for a new loader and a bond of specs being done, bring it back to council to go to tender, see where the town is at on it. Moved by Councillor Vaders. Seconded by Councillor Earls. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary, motion's carried.
I got one last thing, and I think we're going to have to do the same thing. The Public Works Committee recommends that, and I motioned it again, that leasing of a mid-size SUV to be used by the Public Works Superintendent.
Okay, we'll do the same thing and get together.
I would
with
think
Public
so,
Works. And because it has to be done that way, we just can't do a motion to council to go get it. It has to be done, spec, pop back and see where the financing is going to be on it. Because financing even on a lease now is part of our municipal budget. Moved by Councillor Vaders, town entertain or look at the purchase of a new vehicle, SUV for the town work superintendent. And when those specs are done, we'll bring back it and go to tender and see what the pricing is going to be.
Yes, sir.
Councillor Vaders, move second. All in favor? Contrary, carried.
And that's all I got tonight, sir.
Thank you. Finance Committee.
Yeah, I just got one thing there, Mr. Mayor. Motion that the town of Harbour Grace donate $250 to Miles Hunt.
I'll second
And
that.
family. Miles is, I guess everybody knows, he's an 11-year-old little boy from the town of Harbour Grace who was just brought to Halifax for a kidney transplant. Both parents are up there with him, and I make a motion for $250.
Moved by Councillor Byrne that the town support the Miles Hunt campaign for his surgery for $250. Moved by Councillor Byrne, seconded by
A second.
all in favor. Contrary, carried.
And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor, for finance.
Housing, Planning, Zoning, and Sanitation Committee.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, you want to do that, one on zoning first, that
Under
project
three,
up in the,
yeah, under 3.1, Councillor Williams, if you
yeah,
could.
okay. Okay, I'll do the resolution for that. Be it resolved that the town of Harbour Grace approach municipal plan amendment number 3, 2021 was, and development regulations amendment number 4 2021, as established under the Section 17 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000.
Moved by Councillor Williams, seconded by. All in favor? Did you get that? Okay, seconded by Councillor Fitzgerald. All in favor? Contrary, motion is carried.
In saying that, Mr. Mayor, that the hearing is over, is there any update, present time update on that or late update? Can he move now on the construction of that development?
You know, from what I understand, I'll ask Mrs. Parsons to jump in this right now. This motion is made as part of that plan development, and he should be able to follow through on it because there were no objections. Nobody had anything. And as a matter of fact, the public meeting of council or the public meeting was canceled because there was nobody with any objections. That's from what I understand. The exact legalities of it. Mrs. Parsons is going to speak on that for me right now.
Mayor Coombs and councillors, I've been talking to Mr. Garland on this, and right now it's at this point he needs your motion as you presented and just approved. And that takes the document now to Municipal Affairs for approval. And once that's done and it comes back to us, we have to sign some documents after your motion was put forward and carried. And then it goes to Municipal Affairs. And then when it comes back, only then is it actually a done document, you know, that process carried forward.
Does that answer your question, Councillor Williams? We've got
Yes.
to get the document back before Mr. Bradbury can actually start. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Perfect, Mr. Mayor.
Parsons? Okay.
How is it now, Mr. Mayor?
Sure.
Okay, I have an application here for to build a shed, a removable shed. This gentleman going to store his tools in and building supplies. The shed is 20 by 16 and at 117, 121 Hard Part Road, Riverhead, Harbour Grace. He is in the process of buying this land and he needs to make sure he can build on this property before he buys it. He will be building his house there in 2022. Recommended for approval, subject to all town development standards.
So moved, seconded.
Mr. Mayor, is that just for the shed or for the house too?
Well, it's for the shed, okay?
I'm thinking from what I'm reading, Councillor Tifford, is for the shed only in light that he buys the property, because I think Councillor Williams just said he hadn't purchased the property, but temporary sheds are allowed on a 2-year permit basis. So I guess before we purchase the property, he wishes to know if he's allowed a temporary shed there to store his tools while construction is underway. But it's a temporary thing before.
Yes.
There's no application for a house shed.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, Mr. Mayor, it reads that is a removable shed. If it don't pan out, I think he can take that off problem.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is
That wasn't voted on.
oh, sorry. Have a hard day.
Motion. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Deputy Mayor,
Second.
any further discussion? Clarification, the gentleman wishes to build a house, he hasn't purchased the property, and in light of hopefully purchasing the property, he wishes to put a temporary shed there to store the things. All in favor of the motion? Contrary, motion's carried.
There, Mr. Mayor. Anyway, we're in Kevin country here now, and I have some information on the cabins on the Kelvon Road. And I think that,
I'll step out there now.
okay. Okay, Mr. Mayor, can I just do a little update for the people out in Zone Land there before I give the motion?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, just some information for you people out there. On August 31st, 2020, motion 20-334. It was a motion by yours truly, myself, and seconded by Kathy Tifford. and the motion was carried unanimously. And this is the motion I'll read, so the people can be updated on this and know what's going on. The motion was to ask Crown Land to stop all cabin cottage construction in the municipal boundaries of the planning area of Harbour Grace. In the Cow Pond area until such time that guidelines can be put in place to control the development in that area. And on the regulation, and that would be under regulation of Crown Land and Water Resource Management Division of Newfoundland and Labrador. Until then, there was only one cabin that had been started in that area. That was a motion, Mr. Mayor, to start this ball rolling on August 31st, 2020. Then shortly after that, September 17, 2020, we had correspondence from Crown Land, and all 10 lots of the all 10 of the cottage applications in that Cow Pond area had been officially refused / cancelled, and letters to the applicants were sent out. Regulations for this development are still being worked on by the town and Crown. In the package tonight, 6 of these applicants are looking for a reapplication on those cabins. Mr. Mayor, I have a motion here to that effect.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, the motion is to ask Crown Land to stop all cabin construction in that area, in the planning area of Harbour Grace in the Cow Pond area until such time as the guidelines. I'm sorry, that is the wrong motion. The motion for tonight is to make a motion subject to approval in principle, pending all town government regulations and including the adoption of the municipal plan, which in this case could probably last another year to complete. That is the motion. I have the cabins here, the 6 cabins. I can give you those lot numbers, and this motion affects a lot number 153648, lot number 154431, lot number 153690, lot number 153487, lot 153467, and 153486. That's the cabins applied for here tonight, Mr. Mayor.
The motion is that the town approve lot numbers 153648, 153690, 154431, 153487, 153467. Approval in principle pending all town regulations and the adoption of the town plans requested by council. Is that the motion, Councillor Williams?
That's it, Mr. Mayor. Yeah.
I have a seconder for the motion. Second by Councillor Tifford. All in favor? Contrary carried. This may take up to a year to get done as directed by Mr. Garland. Am I correct, Mrs. Parsons?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to say too, in that first motion that we made for this project here, this development, it gives you the impression that these cabins will resume after the regulations are put in place. Right. And I was asked about that, and that's from some people out there, and that's what I told them, and I think that's what will happen, and that's it for now, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to go back. Councillor Williams gave the history on that, which the motion at that time was made because we discovered that the cabin lots were in our development area instead of our planning area, and what it would take to fix this would be to move the boundary just a little bit east there to include them. And I think that's what your motion is trying to do now, based on our review of our plan and a recommendation to our engineer that that boundary be moved a little bit east to include those lots.
Well, the
Mrs.
first,
Patterson,
I'd just like to say to that, too, Councillor Tifford, the first cabin in that lot, in those 10, is the first one is in that that particular area or planning area, according to the line drawn. So,
anyway, I think we all want to support what's right, and I think the town
Yep.
needs recreational areas such as that, put done properly under town plan. Mr. Garland has it. He's got it in under control. He'll bring back all the regulations and everything else, and the owners, the applicants will have to make up their mind at that time if they will conform to what's there under the new plan. Thank you. Anything else, Councillor Williams?
That's it, I think, Mr. Mayor, until joint council just up the road.
Deputy Mayor should be called back there now.
Anybody got a text for her or anything? Mr. McCarthy or Ms. Parsons, can you reach her? Deputy Mayor, please.
I'm back.
Thank you. Welcome
Thanks,
back,
Lada.
Deputy. Economic Development Committee. Deputy Mayor, do you have anything to report?
What was that from the Economic Development?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, we had a meeting recently concerning the harbor dredging. I guess the main discussion was to see if there's any ways to expedite the process.
I need to step out. I'm stepping out.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
Correct.
Sorry for that. Get the ball rolling. Yeah, so basically, ECOA has the process is moving ahead. So we're just waiting to hear, I guess, from the next level as to where it is. But you know, this harbor dredging will open up not only the boat traffic for offloading product, it will also open it up for container ships and possibly I'm thinking or understanding that the smaller cruise ships as well. So I guess the sooner we can get this moving, the better, and hopefully that will happen soon. That's it for economic development.
Deputy Mayor, if you could continue with Mr. McCarthy and your committee to stay on top of that, that's vital to this area, especially now with the competition and bigger boats and everything. And good job on behalf of the committee. Economic growth is important in the town of Harbour Grace. Thank you for the work you're doing on that. Tourism and heritage.
Can we get Councillor Verne back?
Yeah.
You done? Yes.
You. Tourism and Heritage Committee.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just a couple of notes there. The Harbour Grace Community Garden and Seed Library, all 34 boxes have been reserved, and we've raised $320 from registration fees, and should have the last $20 soon. We've received $750 from the Community Garden Support Program. We've purchased 4 tumbling composters with this money, and the remainder will be added to the registration money for new soil. The Seed Library started on June 1st at the Warm Royal Public Library, and the hours are Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays. There's a full explanation on the website for the library. Pirates Path Trail, the trail sponsorship program, is 17 local businesses signed up, and there's more to come. Their business info has been posted on our website. That's Trailhead Kiosk. Spread the word if you know anybody interested. The revenue for this so far is $510, and I'm hoping to use some of this money to design a couple of new storyboards along the path. And our trail is participating in TCP Health Foundation Trails Challenge for 2021. The details of that is on our website. Summer students have all been selected and ready to go. We've had a donation to the Memorial Park. The Conception Baby Museum has donated a large mural by Jerome McCarthy, which illustrates downtown Water Street circa 1900. Dave has picked up some material to give us the weather coding, and we're looking at installing this piece with an exterior frame at some point in June. We're celebrating Pride Week on Friday, June 18th, with Splash Center and Communities Against Violence. We're repainting the Pride crosswalk and installing a rainbow-colored bench on the Memorial Park side for that date. Hopefully everyone can come and we can raise the flag and take a picture. The memorial benches plates are available at the council office for $30. We have a limited number left after these were advertised on May 27th. I think that's about it. There's ongoing talks with the COA about the downtown redevelopment schemes and the new infrastructure at the community center. So those are talks that are ongoing. That's it.
Thank you.
Can I just make a further note on the plaques? EDO had asked that I make a motion. The proceeds of the plaques are going to I can't remember the exact, but it's in the name of Mr. Sacre, our former town manager who passed away.
Names the benches or the chairs.
The money donated to the liver
organization.
Yeah.
Motion by Councillor Byrne at the town. Any money's coming in for Memorial Park benches go to the Mike Zachary Fund at the town established a number of years ago for the Adirondack chairs.
Yes.
Councillor Byrne, okay, move, seconded.
Yes.
Councillor Vaders, all in favour? Contrary, carried. Human Resources Committee. Mute?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything right now.
Parks and Recreation?
Yeah, I got a motion there. I'd like to move to have the EDO apply for funding through the Canada Healthy Community Initiative for the proposed basketball court and ball hockey surface.
Move that to have the EDO apply under the Canada Health and
Communities Initiative.
Communities Initiative for the basketball and ball hockey course. Motion by Councillor Fitzgerald, seconded by Councillor Vaders. Discussion, all in favour?
Hold on now. I just want to, you asked for discussion, so wasn't that applied for the splash pad?
Not to my knowledge, unless the EDO can weigh in.
Community Healthy Living, remember we were waiting on a response for May 15th or something?
Yep, as far as I know, another round of funding started in May and closes in June. So if we're going to apply again, I guess we got to do it by the 25th. So it's the second round of funding.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Did the splash pad get approved, or was there any?
No, not in that round. It didn't. No. My understanding, it was to go into the next round.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Well, that's what I was. My understanding was.
Mr. Parsons, you know anything on that? It goes automatically. I know it was a motion to the floor for the basketball and ball hockey. What about that community healthy and community health and
Community
program?
I would have to further discuss it with our economic development officer to be sure. I can't really comment.
I don't know, Councillor Fitzgerald. I know your motion is the floor, so there's been discussion if the splash pad put body into it for the motions for the basketball and the ball hockey. Am I correct?
Yep.
Do we have a seconder? We did. Any further discussion? All in
Well,
favor? Go ahead.
Well, unless we can get an answer for the first one, how can we go to the next one?
Well, if it got refused in the first round, I assume it'll get turned down in the second round. So
Well, that's not my understanding from Matthew. I could be wrong, Councillor Fitzgerald, but my understanding was if it didn't make the first one, it was possible that it would make the second round. So is Matthew's there in the building? Can somebody ask him or?
1 second.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear what was going on, Matthew?
I heard bits and bobs of it there. Yeah. No, it wouldn't automatically go. We'd have to submit a second application, but I was of the understanding that we would, put the same application again. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be turned down. We weren't fortunate enough to get it the first time, but that doesn't mean it won't be there the second time.
Oh, Donna's moving.
Can't hear the mayor speaking.
Mayor's on mute.
Okay, so we can make two separate motions to continue. Councillor Fitzgerald, your motion was made on the basketball and the ball hockey, am I correct?
Yep.
There was discussion. All in favor of that motion? Contrary, motion is carried. Now, if we could get a motion that we apply under the same grant for the splash pad for under this season also. If we can get a motion in second on that, that's a way for opportunity for some money.
I'll make the motion. Okay, or second it.
Okay, move second discussion. All in favor? Motion is carried. That's two applications, Mr. McCarthy, you have to put through. Thank you. Anything else, Councillor Fitzgerald?
Yeah, wondering if the CAO can find out the location of the playground equipment that was formerly located at the dog park. Maybe we can move that into the new park, set up a little play area.
Asked that, I guess we'll ask that Mr. Parsons check with Mr. Regler to see where it was and probably inventory it. So we can see what we got to move it. Would that be okay? Without a motion, just have Mr. Parsons do that, Mr. Councillor?
That was already discussed that whatever was good would be moved over there into that playground, because there is a playground area in the plan. And it was discussed that if there's any, I know a couple of pieces were in bad shape, maybe more than we think, but anyway, it was supposed to be moved over if there was any pieces that were good.
So we can have the inventory done, councillors and deputy mayor, and see what's there, and we'll move the project on it. Where's that what's there that's actually usable, safe wise. Okay.
Yeah, is there any funds in the for the playground this year in the budget? I don't think there is there?
Nope. Okay, Parks and Recreation. Anything else, Councillor Fitzgerald?
Oh, that's everything, yeah.
Fire Department liaison.
Yes. From the chief, work is starting tomorrow on the fire hall ceiling. Also, training is continuing as normal through the summer, and summer students to start soon. Also, at the last monthly meeting of the fire brigade, it was discussed in great depth of the Bristol's Hope fire protection payments. And it was voted on with a show of hands who would rather collect money from Bristol's Hope and have the money that way as opposed to the town collecting it. And the reason for this is the fact that the money from the Bristol's Hope collection was or whatever is supposed to go to the fire department to purchase a piece of equipment or go towards a piece of equipment or something in that regard in full, not to go against the the fire department budget or anything like that. So unanimously, it was a show of hands. Everybody was for, but you know, I attended those meetings as I might have been a firefighter at the time. I'm not sure if I was fire chief or not, but I might have been fire chief when we discussed that, and it was agreed with my understanding that totally 100% of it to go to the brigade for use of like the town would collect it, and that money would go towards a piece of equipment. You know, so basically they want to know why or how come they're not getting that amount.
Mr. Mayor, the last council, there was some meetings set up between Bristol's Hope and the council, because there was a break in collections of the money, because I think the fire brigade at one time did go door to door and collect the money, but they found it difficult, you know, busy with work and things like that to do that. So then it was decided that the town would collect it through invoicing and through the office here. And at that time, it was said that the amount of money that was collected would go directly to the fire brigade. It wouldn't be absorbed in the town budget. And what that would be is, I don't think it'd be like a separate bank account or anything.
No.
The amount of money would be given to the brigade to purchase something, whether that be to go towards breathing apparatus, gloves, whatever it was. And that was the decision that was made back then. And I don't know why. I don't know what the town manager today decided to do another way. But it was never an intent to be included in the regular budget. It was going to be, I guess, as you put it, for like a bit lack of a better word, a bonus, that there's something that they could purchase out of it for the brigade. And the people of Bristol's Hope did make that clear, that that's what they wanted, would like to see the money go.
Yes, that's exactly what I just said. And you know, I was through those meetings as well, and you know, why it was changed or why it didn't happen that way, you know, needs to be corrected.
I can't speak on it. I know there was success rate when the fire brigade was doing their collections on their own, because I was a member of the fire brigade, and it was 2 or 3 nights a year. The town manager has taken direction from council who was there, and it's probably something that should be looked at for the 2022 year, because some people have paid, some people have not, and you know, it's something that should be looked at on a go-forward basis. But the town manager would have took direction from council on what she perceived to be. But you know, if the fire brigade wishes to collect it again, they had a better success rate than what we did, and it's something that we could look at into 2022. We can't change it now. The invoices are gone out, and people have paid and people have not paid and everything else. But we could look at what's come in and ask the town manager to give us a report on that in a dollar figure, and to see where's that in that way, shape, or form.
I wonder
We can still.
That's not collected. Could you know, if the fire brigade is interested in trying to bring in more money and want to do the door-to-door canvas, you know, maybe this is something that you know, we can discuss with the fire chief or the executive to, if they want to even take it on this year. I really don't see an issue, and to go knock on a door for money that's not collected, so that they can put more money, you know, bring more money back. I mean, that would probably be up to the brigade. But I certainly think that, as you said, that maybe the fire brigade would get the money from Ford quicker than we would with an invoice.
I just want to add a little bit more. Through the invoices, the amount doubled, and I can say tripled. So to me, you know, I spoke my mind on it as well. But the problem is the brigade not getting that money, you know, or you know, that amount should be let known to the brigade, and therefore they can spend it accordingly. And that's where the breakdown is.
Yeah.
Ms. Parsons, what do we do in our budget that was for the fire brigade's money that you are aware of and you're new to it? Is the fire brigade, is the Bristol's Hope revenues part of their budget or whatever? Because if it comes out, we got to find money that we don't have. But that's why I say if the fire brigade wishes to take it on, it's something we should sit down, deputy mayor with the fire chief and town manager and see if we can work this out, because there seems to be some confusion. But I know it was good success previously when they did it on the road. Go ahead, persons.
Yeah, Mayor Coombs, I was informed, it was before my time, of course, and I've only been party to it since I came, but I was informed that it was to be put against their budget for the year that the town subsidized for them. So that is what's been done in the past. That's what's been told to me. But if there is another direction council wishes to take, we can certainly sit down with the fire department and council to determine how you want to proceed.
The income is shown on the revenue for as fire protection fees. And so, you know, and the fire brigade department is under a different, I guess, ledger number, whatever difference that would make, not much, but it is separated there. So I don't think it'd be a big accounting problem to, you know, whatever comes into that account under that revenue that we could certainly offset with it, you know, and write a check off that number and buy or purchase whatever. But I do think, and I'm going to say, is that if the fire brigade decides to take on the collections of this money themselves, then I believe it becomes actually the fire brigade's money, the same as they would earn money by the Barrett's social building or whatever they do, whatever kind of, they have a steak dinner or what. I think if they take that on, that process, that they, whatever money they would collect themselves, I think should be in the fire brigade's count.
I think we should
Yes,
set up.
that's true. But also, like it's just said, it's very easy. It's just to ask the numbers, and anybody working there in the town office can tell exactly what amount of money that was collected, right? Yeah, that's not an issue. So we know that, you know. So the problem is that the brigade is not getting it, and you know, the brigade should get it.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Parsons, was the money that was budgeted in for Bristol's Hope part of the revenue for the town of Harbour Grace in this year's budget?
Was the money included in the budget?
Yeah, in the revenues for this year for the town of Harbour Grace to balance their budget.
Yes.
It was used, Mr. Mayor, it's under revenue, the revenue for $7,000 under our revenue side of our budget. And it's listed separately as fire protection fees.
And it's in our budget to balance our budget. Can I ask if the chair of the finance, the fire department liaison, and Mr. Parsons sit down to see if we can get this rectified on a go-forward basis and bring it back to the next meeting of council to a satisfactory conclusion? Is that okay? 3 people involved, finance, fire department liaison, and the town manager. Okay. Fire department liaison, anything else?
No, that's it.
Danny Cleary, Harbour Grace Community Centre liaison.
Oh, nothing right now.
Civic events liaison.
Yeah, I've been contacted by the Civic Events Committee. Starting today, we are allowed to have community fireworks and stuff. So they are looking for approval to have fireworks for July 1st. Of course, that's contingent on whether or not they can actually purchase them and if the fire department are available to do them. But as a start out, they're asking for permission from the town to move forward with that.
Well, if it meets the regulations within the budget, we can't say no to them. Move that the town of Harbour Grace look at doing the fireworks for the Civic Events Committee for July the 1st, pending fireworks, pending fire department support, and so on. Moved by Councillor Byrne, seconded by. All in favour? Councillor Tippett. All in favour? Good. Anything else, Councillor Byrne?
Nothing else, no.
Joint Council Liaison. Councillor Kevin, Joint Councillors.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, yeah, I have police report here for May 27th. And Bay Roberts Detachment had 293 calls. And these are some of the calls. 25 person crimes against persons, 6 impaired driving, 12 mental health, 9 property damage, 4 injury, 7 quarantine, and 11 ATV vehicle calls. For the Harbour Grace Detachment, there were 347 calls for that period. And here are some of those. 45 personnel against persons, 7 impaired driving, 18 mental health, 14 collisions, 2 quarantine, and 23 ATV vehicles registered. And that's it, Mr. Mayor, for me.
Thank you, Councillor Williams. Harbour Grace Board of Culture, Innovation and Business Liaison.
No, sir, not into report.
All for your liaison, I guess that's see what happens, Councillor Tifford. Same
Yes,
as
we'll
when I
be
have a
meeting
report.
shortly on that, once the July 1st regulations are in place.
Ms. Newfoundland Labrador will be the same thing.
Same thing.
Liaison, I didn't know about the meeting with the Town of Bristol's Hope, but good it got moving. Town Clerk report, any questions of the Town Clerk or Town Manager report? Economic Development Officer's report, you had and was basically presented, any questions? Public Works Superintendent report. Danny Cleary, Harbour Grace Community Centre Manager's report. Municipal Enforcement Officer report. Councillor suggestions. Councillor Fitzgerald.
Is there any update on the garbage can for around the Cheers with everything opening back up when tourists probably coming? Just wondering if we made any headway with them or.
I'll get Ms. Parsons to answer that. Councillor Fitzgerald.
Councillor Fitzgerald, there was a price quote for some of the tops of these garbage cans to be approved at a price, I think, of $150. I don't have everyone's reply as to whether that was approved.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion to see if we can get it approved?
Yes, we have the garbage cans. We just need the lids to keep the garbage from flying around.
Yeah. All right. So I'll make a motion to purchase. How many cans have we got?
Why don't we ask the councillors to reply to the email that was sent out and it's done, then we know. Right? As your
It was
point,
4 or
your point is
6.
valid. We don't know how much they're going to be, but I think that email went out about 30 days ago.
Yeah, it was a time ago.
So if councillors could check their email and respond, we can get it done because we already agreed to do it.
Perfect.
Okay. Anything else, Councillor Fitzgerald?
That's everything for me.
Councillor Kevin Williams?
Nothing right now, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Sean?
Just to remind all of us that this streets clean is ongoing. Harbour Grace to advise everybody, if you get your cars and see people going up and down clean the streets, just take the courtesy, come out and move the vehicles for 5 minutes, then clean the street and they're gone again.
Thank you. Councillor Tifford?
Just one thing, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if anyone has visited in around Lady Lake the last little while, but we're getting a lot of damage on the area there, where the crushed stone or the Class A is. Also, now they've found a way to get in on the grass, and I've made a few trips in the last few weeks, and there is a lot of vehicular, activity in there, 2-wheel bikes, 4-wheel bikes, that are causing a lot of problems in there. Some go in, I've watched some go in, they go down to the bottom by the pond there, they swim, whatever they're doing, and it's perfect. But then you have 2 or 3 or 4 that are causing a lot of damage. They've even broken the cable down by the rock that keeps bikes off the grass area, and only way that I can see to control it is that we put a gate to stop vehicular traffic going in on the property. There's lots of room to park out on that triangle there that the committee has been clearing bit by bit. People can park there and walk down to the pond. It's not a nice thing to have to do, but I think that's the only way that we protect the work that has been done in there over the years with sweat and tears. And, so I'm asking that the town allow the committee to place a gate there to prevent traffic, motorized traffic for going in there for now and see how it works out. To try and, we'll be starting repairs there now next week. And it doesn't seem that, it's hard to get volunteers to go in and do repairs when they turn around the following week and it's tore up again. So this is what I'm asking on behalf of the Regatta Committee. I don't know if I got to put it in a form of a motion, but I will make that motion that we put up a gate just for, I guess, as a tryout to see if it curbs the activity and curbs the damage. And so I don't know how else to do it. We looked at it, we've talked about it. We don't know how else to control it. We've talked to the bike, people riding the bikes, and all you get is sauce and so I don't know how else to do it. And this is what the committee suggested, that we do this. So that's my motion, that we put a gate there, at least for the summer months now, just to see where things go.
Shameful,
It is shameful.
It is, yeah, Mr. Mayor.
Well, we'll have a motion by Councillor Tiffin to have Mr. Hearn go in and look and see if he could meet with the chair of the Regatta Committee and put in a gate that may, and I say may, and not in ignorance, but knowing that what may happen after it, if we can get a gate up to protect the Lady Lake field and the area. Motion by Councillor Tiffin, seconded by
Mr. Mayor.
Sean. All in favour? Contrary? Carried. Anything else, Councillor Tiffin?
No, that's it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Byrne.
Just reviewing our agenda here, you read out section 315, but I don't recall a motion being done on that. That's for the MEO to send out the cleanup letters to property owners. I don't think we did the motion for that, did we?
No environment and sanitation, no motion made on it. No, it wasn't.
No, there wasn't.
So do you, that housing, do you want me to make the motion? I can make the motion.
As environment, sanitation, and housing and zoning to make the motion, as per the committee.
Yeah, I don't know if Councillor Williams is aware of that.
Councillor Williams, there was correspondence with, from the town enforcement officer that she wishes to send out letters. Is that what it is again, send out letters?
It's for people to clean up their properties.
Are you prepared to make that?
Is that letter, I mentioned it before and I'll say it again, is that person signing the letter herself, or is it from the town,
I can't answer the question, Mrs. Parsons. Who signs the letter for cleanup?
Myself and the MEO have signed the letters.
We can ask for the motion. My problem with it is I've been out to visit the sites. There has to be consistency. What are our regulations with regard to doing it? And we should be able to tell the people what the regulations are, not just send out a letter. I've had people visit the house and I've been at some of these sites. I can't see what the cleanup is. I think we need regulations if it has any teeth in it to get it done, but the motion can go forward. Go ahead. Somebody can make the motion.
So moved.
Move.
I'll make it.
Motion.
Motion that, let me find it here now. Let me find the numbers. Do you want the car ID numbers read out?
No, you can do as presented by the MEO or yeah. So the motion is as presented from the June the 18th, that we send out letters to people to clean up their properties.
Yeah.
And I think it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 of them. Moved by Councillor Byrne, seconded by
I'll second it.
Councillor Ayers. Discussion. As again, I said, I visit some of these properties and there's no continuity. We got to have regulations in place to tell people what they have to clean up, not how certain things are laid out. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Contrary?
I'm contrary. Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else, Councillor Byrne?
No, that's everything for me, sir.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I have a couple there. Certainly the speed indicator for Harvey Street was one of them. and that was answered earlier. And Shepherd's Lane, I had that on the list, and that's solved too. Harvey Street, and I mentioned it earlier, we asked for a meeting, and that was answered earlier. The Alberta Drive, coming down over Alberta Drive on the right, there's a fair turn there in a blind spot. So I had a couple of messages from residents that coming out of their driveways, it's a blind spot, and maybe some trees can be caught in the area. Some cleaning up of the, I guess, on the sidewalk there. It's a bad, and it is a blind turn coming out of those. And it was also suggested a speed bump put there just before the turn, so cars would have to slow down there. So maybe if town superintendent could have a look at that. And
That's coming down towards, coming from the top of Alberta Drive, Debbie?
yes, coming from the top down towards the playground, up on the higher part, the couple of residents there, houses it's a blind turn coming out of their driveways. The residents on the right.
We could have the town work superintendent look at that to see what we can get done. And I agree with you, the trees are out over the sidewalk nearby, Mrs. Moore's, Mr. Moore's, and Mrs. Penny's for sure.
Yes, yeah. I had a resident call about Cottage Lane. The dandelion's growing up through the pavement. Is there an update on that?
First I heard of it.
Is that right? I think that was in. That was in the report as well. But I had a couple of residents call me for that, and but it's in the town superintendent's report that he met with Mr. Mullins and discussed it. But I was asking if there was any update on it. So, does anybody know, Mrs. Parsons? Have you heard anything?
Deputy, yes, I know that our superintendent, Mr. Hunt, has talked to Concord. I'm not exactly sure when they're going to go up and address the issue, but they have been talking back and forth about it.
Okay. Yeah, that's obviously there's a major problem. We got dandelion growing up through the pavement. Also, is there an update on residents on Kitchens Hill for the retaining wall?
Any update?
That's in Public Works report.
That's in the report.
Yeah. So, where does it go from there?
I think at the Public Works meeting the other night, it was said that he's going to go with the, of course,
Lower
the two prices. There a big difference between the two, and he was just going to go with the lower price.
So it will be done. It is definitely going to be done. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. The walking track at the stadium still closing at 3 p.m. Why can't we keep it open until 9 like it was before?
I think it's because there's no employees up there.
Well, there's ball hockey ongoing from 7 o'clock to 8:30. And that's Tuesday and Thursday night, and there's also another ball hockey starting as well. There's no times on that as in the stadium manager's report there. So
it has to do with sanitation and things like that, things that have to be done.
So
That's my understanding now, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah. I mean, there's people asking and they want to use it. Like a lot of people get off work and they want to use the track, and that's what it's there for. It shouldn't be closed at 3 o'clock.
I think Councillor Tiffer is correct. It's a manpower thing and the hygiene part of it.
Yes.
And to bring employees in, there's a cost to it, and there's no cost coming. There's nothing coming in from the track. Ball hockey, you got an income, but with the track you didn't. So I think that's what it is. It's offset. One is offsetting the other.
Yeah.
Well, if ball hockey got there's income coming for it. I mean, maybe we can. It's time to charge people $1 to walk around the lap the track. I mean, it shouldn't be closed at 3 o'clock. And that is,
I agree. I agree with you. I think it should be up. But I mean, when it comes to dollars and cents, and that we've had to subsidize the stadium so much in the last little while that it comes down to dollars and cents. And I think that's the issue.
It was never an issue before for anyone going up there walking 8:30, 9 o'clock in the night, never. And I don't know what it is now.
There was always
Because-
an employee, but there was always an employee there.
Yeah, well, the what do you call it's being used all the time? Gym got people coming and going all the time. So
They
it
got
don't
their
even.
own, they got their own entrance, which is separate, and they got their own rules and regulations. The track is something that we don't have the employees to do, and it's COVID related and everything else. And it's the main door that's open, from what I understand, would have to be open. I don't know, we can speak to Mr. Carroll on it, Mr. Dowie, and see what it is and get an explanation from him, but if I understand that's what it is right now.
Also, I just want to reiterate again, during our last meeting, I mentioned it, and I'm going to mention it again. The door that the gym services is opened a lot. When I first mentioned it after the last meeting, it was closed for a little while, but now it's swinging wide open again. That is costing us money, either on our air conditioner or on our heat. So that needs to be taken in hand.
Thank you. Anything else, folks? Pass that along to Mr. Dowie, also Mr. Parsons.
Okay.
Anything else, Deputy?
No, I'm good, thank you.
No further business. Motion to adjourn the meeting. Moved by Councillor Vedder, second by Councillor Tiffin. All in favor? Contrary, carried. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.
Yeah.